The Sky This Month, with your host, Dave Mcdonald.
Welcome to The Sky This Month. I'm your host, Dave Mcdonald, and this is April 2026. And boy, do we have an exciting show for you. Do you realize that this year, 2026, we are going to be celebrating the 250th year anniversary of our country? We declared independence July 4th on 1776. And that's a very significant year. And if any of you have been by chance to the Freedom Tower in New York City, we understand 9/11, very sad day, the Twin Towers fell. But now we have rebuilt the Freedom Tower in New York City, which stands at a very symbolic 1,776 feet tall. Pretty amazing. So we have a great show to talk to you about things that are coming ahead for the next few months relative to the sky. Check this out. This is my Belmont High School Astronomy Club, and we have more exciting news coming from the club, work done by our Belmont High School Astronomy Club that has to do a lot with our 250th year anniversary. So more on that coming up very shortly. Now, this 250-year anniversary, obviously, it's a national thing. And I want to introduce to you a very special guest who you've seen on our show before, Rick Yeames, who is the Capital Semiquin Ambassador. And you'll hear that word Semiquin a lot, which basically means 250 years. So, Rick, welcome to the show once again.
Thank you, Dave.
You're very welcome. So checking out this slide, this is a national thing. What is it about this that is a national thing?
So it celebrates the 250th anniversary of the signing of the Declaration of Independence. And not only is it the 250th, but it's also informally called the Semiquincentennial. Quincentennial, quin meaning 5, and semi meaning half of 5, or 250. And this event is going to happen from small town Belmont, New Hampshire, to Capital Concord, to across the New England region, to across our country, and even the territories are getting into it as well and celebrating the Semiquincentennial. So it's a very, very exciting time.
And I noticed that we're going, as you alluded to, all the way out to California, where it says "Stay Golden." You can see that right there on the slide. And then, obviously, our capital, Washington, D.C. And one of the things that is near and dear to my heart is the giant leap, and it is. It was Neil Armstrong who when he put his first feet on the moon, and he said, "One small step for man, one giant leap for mankind." And we found ourselves on the moon on July 20 in 1969. And now we have this giant leap for our country. And if you look up historically, not too many countries make it to 250 years. And so we're fortunate in that realm, and hopefully we've got a lot of years left to go. So what am I looking at here? This looks like a special plate. Feel free to hold up the real thing in your hand. And what's that all about?
So this is a very special plate. This is actually from the bicentennial back in 1976, 50 years ago. And you'll start to see out and about everything branded with the 250 and the Semiquin. And this was an example of 50 years ago, a plate that was produced, and it had red and blue days, showed all the holidays. That was a leap year. And so really for this year and for back in 1976, there was lots of celebrating, many patriotic, many events, festivals. And the good thing about it is everybody can get involved. because if you're in America, you get to celebrate our nation's 250th birthday. So just a very, very exciting time. I do have to mention a special fact. Today, the date of this taping, which is March 26, we are actually 100 days away from the Semiquin. So even though this will air after the 26th, on the day we taped, it's 100 days away.
And I think that's very cool. There's just something special about 100.
Yeah.
And obviously we have something special coming up relative to 250. And then there's stamps. Like our country really is behind this, isn't it?
Yes, they are. And these are special stamps. We have the Marine, Navy, and Army are also celebrating 250 years of being in existence, founded 250 years ago. So there's stamps, and this is probably the coolest one. Last year, the U.S. Postal Service celebrated 250 years of delivering the mail. And they have a very unique stamp within these 16 stamps celebrating the Semiquin of the founding of the U.S. Postal Service. They have horses and cars and a mail center, all different things within the stamp, and you peel it off. So just some very, very cool stuff to look at.
Well, speaking of cool, we have a special license plate that New Hampshire has put out. And one of the neat things about it is that we have the opportunity to get one of these, and you just need to go to newhampshire.gov, the DMV homepage, very easy to find. And you can order as many of these, they're like $25. This is the 1776 to 2026 license plate. I love the old man of the mountain in kind of a little bit of a silhouette soft there on the right side, and obviously 250 years on the left. And Rick, what is one thing that maybe the viewers at home noticed, but what is one thing that's special about this particular plate?
So this plate, I had the good fortune of being with Governor Ayotte, Kelly Ayotte, a week or two ago, and she actually signed it. Now her plate is up in her office, but I have one of these on the Semiquin mobile we'll talk about a little bit later on. But the great thing about this plate is anyone can get one of these plates. And for the next year and a half, until July 4th, 2027, this plate is allowed to replace your current front plate. So by law, they signed it into law, if you get one of these plates, you can legally remove your current front license plate and put this one on for the next about year and a half, just under a year and a half. Probably yours won't have Kelly Ayotte's signature on it, but I'm not actually putting this one on my car. I had a second one that's on the car. And the good thing about this plate signed, this plate is going to go into our Semiquin time capsule that I'll speak a little more about later on.
Well, you mentioned the license plate, you mentioned the Semiquin car, the mobile, Semiquin mobile. I just happen to have a picture of it. And so this car has been revamped, I guess maybe is a word, because many of you will remember the great solar eclipse that we had on April 8, 2024. And this was the Eclipse Mobile. But Rick, being the network person and the excited person about special opportunities, and this 250-year anniversary certainly is one. Tell us a little bit about your car, Rick.
Well, it's a pretty awesome car. It's a Dodge Challenger 2018, and it's got the 250 on the hood. It's got a different 250 logo on the doors that I'll speak a little more about later. And the regular license plate is Semiquin that you can see on the front here. That plate is still on the back, but now the front license plate is the Live Free or Die 1776 to 2026 plate that we just showed you. And if you do see me driving around Concord, I might be delivering pizza or going to the planetarium with Dave to look at stars, please give a honk and a wave. And may even be in the parade on July 4th here in Concord, when we're going to be celebrating with the state, federal, and the city of Concord. And if you don't have plans yet, I recommend coming to Concord a couple of weeks before the Semiquin and celebrating with us here in Concord.
Awesome. And this is just a quick photo of the place where this time capsule that Rick was alluding to, the one that exists. And as he said, there will be one for this Semiquin also that will be buried in around Labor Day or on Labor Day. But this is just to illustrate that time capsules are no strangers to New Hampshire. And you may remember we buried a time capsule relative to the 2024 solar eclipse as well, which will be dug up some years down the road. So anything you want to say about this time capsule project?
Probably not, except if someone does come across a special item with the Semiquin, either connected to astronomy or vehicles or stamps or anything that you come across, please contact Dave or myself or the station here. Let us know, because we are collecting items for this time capsule over the next 100 days plus. Unfortunately, the Semiquin mobile is just a little bit big to fit into it, so it won't be going in there. But I can guarantee you that a couple of plates, a Semiquin plate, and we have some stickers on that Dave will talk about a little more in the future, and the 1776-2026 plate signed by Kelly Ayotte will be going into the time capsule.
Well, tell you what, since you mentioned it, and before I forget, I will hold up this 250-year sticker that you can get, and it can be your choice. You can have the 250-year sticker, or you can have the Semiquin license plate sticker. Just write to me, Dave Mcdonald. My email address is on the screen, astromannh@gmail.com. So you write to me, astromannh@gmail.com, and ask for your sticker. They are going to be free. Just enclose a check for $2 for postage. Kidding. You email me, obviously with your name and address, and we'll get you a couple stickers. Okay? So that'll be pretty cool. And then we have some other events that are coming up in Concord in particular. So check this out, and maybe, Rick, you have a word to say about the Liberty and Legacy Civic Saturday Social.
Sure, and this will be on Saturday, June 20th, right at the Kimball Jenkins Concordia Lutheran Church, all the way down North Main to the Franklin Pierce Mansion and the Red House. The street's actually going to be closed for those 5 hours, so we're going to have historical games for the kids. We're going to have a beer tent. We're going to have historical displays and activities going on all through the 250 lens of civics, historical, historical civics and social studies as well, celebrating 250 years of democracy here in the U.S. So that kicks off 2.5 weeks of celebrating. So lots going on.
Thanks, Rick. I appreciate that. And I also want to thank you, because you and Deshaun came to visit my astronomy club at Belmont High School last week, and that was most appreciated. And we at Belmont High School, our astronomy club, are launching and introducing a super new and cool program. Check this out. This is, and maybe we can make just a full screen of that. And this is part of our club, the people who are available on that day. And you see the great large flag with the Declaration of Independence on it. And down below, we left enough space for the 250th, and the dates are there, 1776 to 2026. And we have a special program coming up. And so I want to introduce to you another guest of mine for the show today in just a moment. Well, as promised, here to help me and help you, help all of us celebrate 250 light years of America is my Astronomy Club person, student, member, Simon Bales. Simon, welcome to the show.
Nice to be here. Nice to be here in general.
It is to be nice here in general, or in Colonel is fine as well. Okay, and this is Simon's first time on the show, so why don't everybody at home there applaud. Welcome to our show, Simon.
Thank you.
Everybody's applauding, and you are very, very welcome. All right, so I want to show you, before Simon's going to talk some specifics about a couple of special stars, but the stars were out on July 4th, 1776, when we declared our independence and such. And so this is what the sky looked like on July 4th, 1776. These are some stars, and so maybe to help give a little context to the stars that you're looking at, because of course there were stars in the sky, but this little artwork may help you understand a little bit specifically what stars are up there, what constellations. So you can see way off to the right side is Virgo. Kind of taking center stage is the 13th member of the zodiac, Ophiuchus, and he's the snake wrangler there. Looks like he's got a big python or an anaconda or something that he is. And then center towards the bottom, we have Scorpius with the bright star Antares representing the heart of the scorpion. And Denobla is in the constellation of Leo, the lion, which we'll get to in a little bit down the line. So this is just to give you an idea of what the sky was like, because this is the sky facing south on July 4th, 1776. Very cool. Now, join in the fun, 250 light years of America. And the idea behind this is this. Light travels at the speed of light, of all things, 186,282 miles per second, which is like going around Earth 7.5 times in 1 second, really fast. Now, there are some stars up in the sky, and we're going to mention 2 of them on this show, and more stars to come in the future shows. But the starlight leaves a star, and starlight is composed of photons. Einstein also referred to them as quanta. But these photons of light leaving the star travel at the speed of light. And so we thought it would be very cool. My astronomy club has been researching stars that are exactly or about, or a little plus or minus 250 years away, 250 light years away. So that means that when you go outside and you look at these 2 stars that Simon's going to talk about, and you look at those 2 stars, you're looking at the photons that left that star 250 years ago. Isn't that cool? And when we get, and the answer is yes. And then when we get to July, the July show, it's going to be even more real, because the stars that we talk about in July, which are going to be different than the stars we're talking about now. The stars we're talking about now are visible right now. You can go out in your backyard tonight and look for these 2 stars that Simon's going to talk about. So join the fun and go out and look at these stars that are going to represent 250 light years of America. So Simon, again, thanks for being here. And one of the stars that you found, or our club found collectively together, is a star called Bellatrix in the constellation of Orion. And this is the way the sky looks at 8:30 on April 15th. I thought tax day would be the perfect day to reference here. But the sky looks the same. A couple weeks before, a couple weeks after, it's relatively the same. The sky changes by about 4 minutes a night. So Simon, tell us a little bit about the star Bellatrix in the constellation of Orion.
Bellatrix is about 248 light years away, so almost 250. And it is about 6.5 times the radius of the Sun. It is a very new star too, only 25 million years old, which over the course of a star's age, that's pretty new, even for a large star like it. Bellatrix was once thought to be possibly a binary system, but further testing has shown it is most likely not a binary system.
Okay, well, thanks, Simon. And it shines about a magnitude 1.5, which is pretty bright. And then we have Bellatrix in Orion. It's the top right star as you look at the constellation of Orion, which I think is one of the constellations that people first learn, particularly in the wintertime. And it's the top right star as you look at Orion. And so the night sky on July 4th, 1776, as I mentioned earlier, if you look off to the right, you see kind of the bottom 2/3 of Virgo, Virgo the Virgin or Virgo the Maiden, and you see there's a fairly bright star representing a sheaf of wheat that she is holding. And so that was there in the sky, July 4th, 1776. And what we're going to do is, or I should say Simon is going to do, is tell us about Spica, because the neat thing is that Spica can be found in your backyard tonight. Simon, tell us about Spica.
Spica, also known as Alpha Virginis, Alpha meaning the brightest in the constellation, Virginis meaning it is in Virgo. It is the brightest star in the constellation Virgo and the 13th brightest in the night sky. It is actually a binary system, not a single star. These stars are actually so close to each other that the gravitational pull on each other makes them egg-shaped. They orbit each other very quickly too, at 4-day intervals. Its magnitude is just shy of 1, which makes it very bright compared to other stars, especially stars around 250 light years away. That's all I have to say.
That's great, Simon. Thank you very much. And one thing that you may notice when you look at Spica, notice that in general, the stars have color, and Spica is a bluish star, a blue-white star, which means it's really very hot. It's among the hotter stars, or dare I say, the hottest stars in the sky. And so thank you, Simon, for sharing about that. And so, Simon, thanks for joining us, and I hope we together, the three of us, Rick, Simon, myself, invite you to join in the fun of 250 years, 250 light years of America. So, Simon, thanks again for being part of our show.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Nice job. Hope to see you with us again. Well, in a little bit, I'm going to talk a little more about those constellations and some other things that you can find, but I'm going to use those basic 2 slides that had Orion on it and Virgo on it, and share some other interesting things that you can find in the night sky. But Pink moon, April 1st. So hopefully you're able to catch this on maybe one of the last 2 days of March, and you can enjoy the pink moon April 1st. April 2nd, it's not going to look any much different. And we call each moon, each full moon, by a certain name, kind of related to something that's going on in nature. The harvest moon is the full moon that is closest to when we start harvesting, of all things. Now, the pink moon does not mean the moon is pink. I know people have gone out and have tried to look for a moon that's pink. Now, maybe you can fool your friends, because notice that the full moon is on April 1st. But what I'm about to tell you, I'm not joking. Do I ever joke? Thank you, Simon. The pink moon actually refers to flowers. The first flowers of spring that bloom, and there's one in particular, Phlox subulata. And I think it's a lot easier to say pink moss. And so that's one of the first flowers that comes out in springtime. So the first full moon in April, which is in spring because it for sure is after the equinox, represents pink phlox, pink moss. So now you know about the pink moon. All right. So, Rick, I want to thank, we're going to do the night sky in just a second here, but again, Rick, thank you so much for being with us and sharing about the 250 years. And once again, Simon, thank you again for being with us for the show. And now stay tuned. We're going to talk a little bit about what's going on in the night sky with Orion and the part of the sky that Virgo is in, and show you some other things. Okay? So stay tuned, and we'll be right back with the night sky. Well, I hope you enjoyed that chat with Rick and Simon. And we used this as the backdrop. And what this is, it's the Lyrid meteor shower. And I wanted to use this as a backdrop for two things. One, to talk about the Lyrid meteor shower. And secondly, kind of looks like some fireworks going on. And fireworks, of course, are in celebration of our 250-year anniversary of our country. So thought that was kind of a cool backdrop. But the Lyrid meteor shower is happening this month, April 21st to 22nd. You got several days, 3 or 4 days on either side of those dates to find them, but the ideal date is late April 21st to early morning April 22nd is the ideal time. And this is one of the first known meteor showers. It's called the Lyrids, and the reason it's called the Lyrids is the meteors seem to emanate from the constellation of Lyra. That's why they're called the Lyrids. So keep that in mind, April 21st, April 22nd, to go out, you can expect around 18 meteors an hour. Of course, that's an average. There could be less, there could be more, but don't forget to enjoy going out for the Lyrid meteor shower. And don't go out, stand in your driveway. Get a chair, sleeping bag, some hot chocolate, some donuts, and enjoy the show for an hour or so. The later you can be out on the 21st, or the later, so to speak, you can be out on the morning of the 22nd, the better. And again, the weather's not good. A couple days before, a couple days after should work out just fine. Next slide. We're going to talk about Bellatrix and Orion. Simon very nicely talked about the star itself being about 248, close to 250 light years away. But let's use Orion, which is at the bottom of your screen here, and hopefully easy enough for you to see. This is the southwestern sky. Orion is getting ready to disappear into the glow of the sun. And Above Orion, if you go diagonally, and you're not going to have any trouble finding Jupiter anyway, but if you go from Rigel, which is the bottom right, through Betelgeuse, which is the upper left of Orion, and keep on going, you're going to come to the planet Jupiter. And you don't need those directions really, because Jupiter is the brightest object in the sky unless the moon is out at the time, which on this particular date, it's not going to be out in the sky. So Jupiter at this time, 8:30-ish, April 15-ish, Jupiter is going to be the brightest. And that's in the constellation of Gemini, the twins. The twins are Castor and Pollux. Those are your twin stars representing the eyes of the twins kind of staring at you. And Jupiter is in the body of Gemini, the twins. Okay, next, let's take a peek back to the constellation that had Spica in it. And one way that Simon shared how you can find Spica is find the Big Dipper, which this time, which is around 8:30 at night, you're going to, 11 o'clock at night, you're going to be looking up high overhead, because the overhead and the horizon are kind of squished a little bit on this view, but overhead you'll find the Big Dipper. And if you take the handle part of the Big Dipper, notice how it makes an arc. And if you take that arc of the handle of the Big Dipper and follow the arc, you're going to come down to this bright star named Arcturus. Arc to Arcturus. And Arcturus is one of the 5 brightest stars in the night sky in either the northern or the southern hemisphere. It's a magnitude 0 star. And then after you get to Arcturus, spike down to Spica. And we're facing south at about 11 o'clock at night, facing south. And Spica is a magnitude 1 star. So Arcturus is about 2.5 times brighter than Spica is. And Arcturus is a red star. And maybe you can kind of notice some red-orange scintillation happening. And Spica is a blue-white star, a very hot star. So that's how you do it. Big Dipper, the handle of the Big Dipper makes an arc, arc to Arcturus, spike down towards the horizon, spike down to Spica. And then you'll find some, I think, enjoyment in finding those things. I mentioned to you Denobla, and Denobla is at the tail of the lion right here. This is Leo the lion, which is in the same sky that we're talking about. And maybe you can see here the backward sickle of Leo, and this star right here is Regulus, representing the heart of the lion. So there's that backwards question mark for the head, and it comes back to make like a triangle for the hind haunches, and the tail being the star Denobla. So next. Hope that you enjoyed the show, and again, thanks to Rick and Simon for helping us get in on the fun. And the fun is starting this month, April, and we're going to go through July and beyond, celebrating 250 light years of America. I'm Dave Mcdonald for The Sky This Month, and don't you forget to keep looking